With ABC's John Carl, California Governor Gavin Newsom expressed concerns that a third party could end up playing spoiler for Democrats and for President Joe Biden come November. Take a look.
I know a third party candidate isn't likely to be elected president or beat either one, but I mean, how worried are you? Yeah, how worried are you about that?
I have to be worried. But you know what? You got to control the controllables. Got to control what you have to control. Right now, it's getting the vote out. Let's look at no labels. I actually took the time. I encourage people to look at what.
I didn't know Pat Riley left basketball.
Wow, this is literally reads as the accomplishment list of the Biden-Harris administration.
So, are you concerned with the governor's concerns about a third party?
Yes.
Sorry, a third.
Wow, folks, the Democrats are scared. They're crying. Tears are flowing. And here is cultural appropriator, name appropriator, race appropriator. She is a race traitor, a race hater, and a race baiter. She has got the triple crown of racism, folks. The triple crown of being a bigot, a bigot. The triple crown of being a racist. This is Sunny. My real name is Ascension Cummings Austin. And she's crying about the fact that Jill Stein in 2016 took some votes away from Hillary Clinton, and that if Hillary Clinton, if Jill Stein hadn't run, Hillary Clinton would have been president. Right. She might have been a spoiler, but you know what? President Trump still won. So too bad there, Ascension Cummings. Now, we want to head to another one of our lovable lunatic losers, Anna Navarro. Let's hear what Anna has to say about a third party. I'm sure that's going to be quite interesting. Oh, as I said before, when was Pat Riley running for president of the United States of America? John Carl. Did you know who he had on there? Is that Gavin Newsom or was that Pat Riley? And now, without further ado, the rhino herself, the non-Republican, the not conservative, the fake Republican, the fake conservative, Anna Navarro. Let's hear from Anna.
Ross Perot was a spoiler for George Herbert Walker Bush. And in that case, that was 1996. And in that case, you had George Herbert Walker Bush, who's a sane, good, normal human being, running against Bill Clinton. He was a hoe, but he was a normal, good human being.
He was a sexual abuser and a rapist.
Joe Biden, a sane, decent, normal human being, running against a man who is an existential threat to democracy and to the foreign world, to the international world, to the universe. So this is not a normal, oh, you know what, we can afford to have a spoiler. We can afford to have Manchin running around. There's a lot of very credible people who we know who've
So Donald Trump is an existential threat, not only to the United States of America. Oh, no, no, no. Not only to the surrounding countries like Canada and Mexico. Oh, no, 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 no. He is an existential threat to the planet, to aliens, folks. Area 51, beware, Donald Trump could be president again. You may be found out now. And then they're talking about Joe Manchin. So let's hear it from Joe Manchin himself as to what he thinks about running as a third party for president of the United States of America. Let's go to Joe, because he ain't going to blow no mo.
Manchin tells me he is considering running for president.
I'm open to whatever it takes to save the country.
Manchin has started a nationwide campaign called Americans Together. He wants to give moderates who are frustrated with extremes in both parties a new political home.
You might be my opponent, but you're not my enemy. You might have a different idea, but if we work together, we maybe can come up with a plan.
Manchin says today's politics have taken a turn for the worse and blames Donald Trump and President Biden.
Is there a way to get President Biden back towards the middle a little bit, where he came from? He's been pushed clear to the left.
As GOP presidential candidates focus on the South Carolina primary, Manchin says Nikki Haley should stay in the race and applauds her for taking on former President Trump.
Of course he does.
She's trying to bring him out into a public debate. I think that's all healthy.
Fellow West Virginian Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito doubts a third-party candidate could be successful.
I don't know what the end game is here. I don't know, he's been touted as being, some kind of a candidate or a brokered candidate for the president. I don't really see that happening.
Capito says she wishes her friend well.
It's always good to listen.
Manchin says he will let voters know more about his political future after Super Tuesday in March.
So there you heard it from good old Joe, right? Good old Joe. Does he know that he's basically through? Anyways, let's hear from another rhino. Another person who basically stabs her political opponents, right? A2, Alysa Faraz. Another fake Republican, definitely a fake conservative, a rhino all the way. Let's hear from Alysa and see what she has to say, because the verbal diarrhea is going to be huge, folks. So make sure you're covered real well before this lady starts to sing. Let's hear from Alysa right now.
The spoiler effect. I do think that this country is overdue for another option than just two political parties, but I think you have to think about how to do that the right way, that it doesn't boost the most unfit individual. My thing is this, is whenever this conversation comes up, it's almost like we're all tacitly acknowledging that Biden is weaker than Trump. That's what it sounds like to me, because if Trump is actually weaker in a general than Biden, wouldn't that mean that that we shouldn't be worried he's going to lose more votes?
No, because the people who support Trump are cult members, and they're not going anywhere. The people who support Biden are normal human beings.
To be honest, I don't think 40...
So the people who support Biden are just normal human beings. These are the people who believe that men can become women, women can become men can participate in, biological men can participate in sports, that sex and gender are fluid. There is no such thing. There is no such thing. You can't define what a woman is. These are the people that want to get rid of a lot of liberties like the First Amendment. They want to get rid of things like the Second Amendment. These, Ana Vera, are basically touting as the sane people, the sane ones. These are the people that want to have drag queen story hour in kindergartens and libraries, inappropriate for young children without their parents. These are the ones, these are the people that support Biden, that want to have pornographic books be available that talk about all kinds of sexualization of children and child rape and child molestation, all that kind of stuff. This is who is following the Biden administration and the Biden presidency. And speaking of something here, if we're to believe women all the time, where is Tara Reid and her $83.3 million against Biden, which has much more consistency and more proof than E.G. Carroll? I mean, come on, folks. Really? Would you want to do something with her, E.G. Carroll? I mean, I don't think she's all that, good looking myself. I mean, literally, would that be something? Come on. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't. But there were lies predicated on that case. And the judge and the jury went way overboard, and that's going to be overruled. That's going to be knocked down. And if there are any damages to be paid, it's going to be paid through the legal funding, through what President Trump has raised. So it's not coming out of his pocket. But again, he's guilty until he proves his innocence. But that's not what happened, because it was a stacked jury and a stacked judge. And E.G. Carroll is just a complete lying, shyster. She is a female shyster. That's all she is. She shook him down, and her lawyers shook him down, and that's what happened. But I digress. Getting back to Ana Navarra, The sane people, as I said, the ones who believe in, let men compete with women in their sports. Let men destroy women. Let women just be the word woman be completely obliterated because we can't define a woman. Ketanji Jackson Brown, Supreme Court. Ask her, what is a woman? I have no idea. Depends on the context. Depends on what you're talking about. I don't know. On Monday, woman means something different. Tuesday and Wednesday, it means something different. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it means a whole nother thing to be a woman. She's describing Trump supporters as cult-like. Amazing, folks. Absolutely amazing. Anyways, let's continue.
Are normal human beings.
To be honest, I don't think 40 million Americans are cult members. I think there's a lot of people who can close their nose, they don't pay attention to the 24-hour news cycle, and they're like, yeah, but you...
Wow, wow, wow. Did my ears deceive me hearing? Alysa Faraz actually stuck up for the Trump voters, but she did say 40 million. I mean, it's more like 70 or 85 million, but we just didn't, we lost a couple of million, a few votes here and there, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter at all. But she says cult members. So every once in a while, something other than verbal diarrhea actually comes out of these lunatic losing ladies' mouths. Every once in a while, a little speck comes out. A grain of truth, just a tiny little grain. Because most of the grains these ladies are eating are emitted with verbal diarrhea, folks. Anyways, let's continue.
A third party. Change comes very slowly in this country, as we know, watching the history that has unfolded here, good and bad. It takes time. We are a bipartisan situation right now. There is not a runway to bring in a third.
Bipartisan?
Although I do concede. The polls show people are not super psyched about the candidates in general right now, but there's no room to swap it out, although I'm all on board for a split ticket third party going forward after this election.
I am going to say this again. Polls do not make an election. Polls lie because
People
Hillary
lie.
Clinton would have been president
You lie.
if the polls had been correct. Do not trust the polls. Trust what you know. The man said recently, I'm on day one, I'm going to be a dictator.
Good.
The fact that the
Money, 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 money. Hey, honey, the fact that you are bringing up that he was going to be a dictator on day one, guess what? Whoopi, cultural appropriator of a Jewish named Goldberg, cultural appropriator of a religion, cultural appropriator of a black person. Guess what? Donald Trump, Whoopi, is living right up here in your brain, rent free. He ain't paying you no money, honey. He's living up here rent free. Yeah, he's going to be a dictator on day one. That's what we're going to have. Dictator Trump, day one. And then President Trump, the rest of the 4 years. You guys are unbelievable. As I've said before, this is the rear view, folks. If you added up all their numbers to get to an IQ level, you would be decimal points away from being close to zero. These lovable lunatic leftist losers, they have nothing on their side. No facts, no figures, no data, nothing solid. It is all purely emotionally driven, which is what happens with most women. They're emotionally driven. No facts, no figures, no data, no nothing on their side. Some of them do, but not these ladies. Oh no, they need to be mansplained every single freaking time. How many times have they counted Donald Trump out? Because of emotion, not logic, not sanity, not data, not numbers. If they did, they wouldn't be spouting off the verbal diarrhea that is coming from them every single freaking day. They hope, they pray, they chant, they do mantras, they do whatever. Nothing seems to work. And we're so glad about that. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. Let us know what you think of the ladies of the rear view and their verbal diarrhea too. Take a look at our other videos above and below. Leave your comments. Share those. Our final thought, as always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're like these lovable lunatic losers. You're all wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.